This show is so much fun. It's so good, and it's way like I knew I would enjoy it. Like I didn't doubt that. It's way better than I thought it would be because I believe of the housewives that are involved know how to bring the drama even in a situation like this.
And obviously pretty much any confessional that they have, and they're like, I'm really into this guy. I'm kind of into this guy. I'm like, you guys are lying through your teeth, but you are making it very entertaining for me. And I do think they nailed it with the guys that they picked, and I can't wait to watch this second group of guys for the next episode.
I didn't know that was a thing. I'm so excited.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Love Gutell.
I like that one a lot. Not a lot going on here. This show's like a fever dream for me. I never know what the hell's going on. I never know what these guys are going to say. I have a very firm understanding of what the women are going to say, but I did feel like Ashley in this episode when I think it was Nick that asked, "Do you ever date any white boys?" And she just starts laughing. I'm like, really? Oh yeah. I guess you probably don't know what the fuck's going on, do you?
He doesn't know Michael Darby, I guess, but like,
nope. Good for him, by the way.
Nicholas. Wow. A lot to say about him when we get into it, but let's jump right into this whole thing because it is kind of chaotic, and taking notes for it is somewhat like a fever dream because so much happens in one scene. It's just, so we're just going to bop around and do our best to keep some kind of
hit all the main points.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Like, we start out, and it's important to note who's hanging with who. You got Ashley and Wale working out together, or Wally as Luann calls them. You got Mark, who I thought was Gerry, by the way. Gerry and Mark are almost interchangeable.
So confused. Yeah.
Those guys.
I just love that they're both vying for the same woman, and it's like a full-on competition between the same person, because I thought they were the same too.
I did too, but the best part is them going after Luann and not knowing who Luann is. Like, Leanne is going to chew these two up and spit them out. Like, they're unmatched. Like, they're overmatched. I mean, like, they don't know what they're getting into, and I don't think they have what it takes for a woman like Luann, as we see it kind of play out with the Ralph situation that we're going to get to later. But Mark drops Luann, so tough start there. But I'm glad, and by drops, I mean literally drops her during yoga, not drops
actually,
her. Like, yes. He actually dropped her. So tough start. Tough start to the day, Mark. But I guess Gerry, who we saw, Gerry the surfer boy from who's living in Puerto Rico now, he's pissed, which is so fucking funny. It's like, brother, you do know what the show is about, right? Like, you don't claim one of these women. They are dating you. They're going to go from guy to guy to find the right fit. Gerry confronted Mark about the date.
It's so fucking funny because before the season started, I think when we're looking at this, we're looking at the cast. Most of the storylines that we figured were going to play out were in the realm of what we've seen from all of these housewives. And when it came to Luann, I thought for sure that she was going to have guys like pitted up against each other, and it was going to be her doing. She's simply just doing what we're supposed to be doing on the show, trying to make connections, trying to spend some time with a couple different suitors. And the guys are actually just getting mad at each other. It's great. They're stepping on each other's toes. I thought Luann was going to be manipulating situations and just ignoring people and then bopping around, which she does. Her line is I got to go to the ladies' room, and then she ends up just grabbing a drink with somebody else, and that's fine. But I thought that she was going to be like the orchestrator of this. Instead, she's got guys fighting over her. It's great.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I've never dealt with this before." Wink, wink. It's like, "Oh, Luann. Oh, Countess." But Ashley tells Luann about Gerry, and Giselle's like, "Well, got to spill the tea now." And I guess that Gerry had said, literally verbatim, like, "That's my woman," to Mark, which is a wild statement to make. It's like,
you kind of inappropriate that you're doing this. Like,
you don't walk in and call dibs, dude. That's inappropriate. Like, it's so fucking funny. And the best part is Gerry strolls in. You talk behind my back. It's like, Jer, I want to go ahead and help you out here, pal. This is a bad look. You look like a psycho, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fucking relax, buddy, which doesn't matter anymore because he's gone. But
I'd much rather have the guys fighting over a particular woman than the women fighting over one of the guys. Like, I don't want to,
because I love the Ralph thing. I love the Ralph.
No, the Ralph thing is very funny though, and it seems okay. Although I think Shannon may have been crying, but
Shannon
I'd rather
more than likely cried.
Yeah, I think she did. I would much rather watch the guys fight over one of the women and then watch somebody like Luann or Shannon or Gizelle or whoever walk over. I love that I just named 3 of them. There's only 4 total. I said whoever afterwards instead of Ashley, but whatever.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'd much rather watch the guys fight and then watch whichever woman it is walk away and go start talking to another guy. That's very funny to me.
I think we're gonna get that because
Yeah.
they seem, all 4 of them, Shannon somewhat excluded, kind of.
Mhm.
The 3, Gizelle, Ashley, and Luann, have the right temperament. This is
Yes.
funny. This is fun. We're gonna have a good time. We might meet somebody, but I'm just gonna like make the most out of this thing. Whereas Shannon, and I just don't think she has the right mindset for this kind of show. I really
I don't think she does
she's gonna
either.
Take it too seriously.
But we heard a couple, I think it was Ashley and Luann, both in their confessionals were like, whoever the guy is that they were talking to at the time said, yeah, I'm just here to, try to figure it out, have a little bit of fun. They took offense to it. They're like, you're at the Love Hotel for fun? Are you kidding me? And then they'll go to their own confessionals. They're like, hey, I'm just trying to have a good time and we can watch.
They're there
them.
to
They're
have fun. The
clearly
men
just
need to be
having fun.
serious.
Yeah,
I'm
I
on their
know.
team. I'm like, you're right. They're coming into this
I
situation to
just
win
think
your
it's
hearts.
so funny.
It's great. It's fucking great. But JKB joins to set up the next date night, and it's a group date where you get to ask out 2 of the guys. So you got to go on a double date. But if somebody picks the same guy, then the guy gets to pick who he wants to go with. And
Mhm.
Shannon's stressed. She's like, I've never done this before. It's like most people haven't gone out with 2 people at the same exact time. So you're in the same boat as most of these women.
Do you think she was more stressed about going out on we'll call it a double date instead of the menage a trois? Do you think she was more stressed about the double date or that somebody was going to pick her guy and that guy wasn't going to pick her? Because I think it's the latter.
Probably that. I think that
Yeah.
there, as we know with Shannon, there's some insecurities there. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they were highlighted this scene because she picks
Uh-huh.
Ralph. She picks Ralph. And I was like, oh, Earl the Pearl is going to be, he's going to be crushed.
Mhm.
Earl takes it like a champ. He's like, you know what? If she wants to explore some other options, that's fine. Scenes from later this season that we got at the end of this.
Yeah.
I've got some question marks about Earl. That could be Shannon as well. I have questions about this relationship that these 2 are getting into.
Yeah.
It's very,
Who knew the trauma dump wasn't going to be a good person or a good fit?
A good generalization is if you start any relationship with trauma dumping on each other,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not a great foundation. Is that you're both
No.
hurt the same way? That's just, not a psychologist.
Also kinda
I don't have
seems
my
like
psychology hat on.
Hey,
It's
I've been through a
dangerous.
lot of shit, so you better pick me. If you
And
send
I'm
me
gonna
home,
read-
I'm going to take this personally.
I also went
Yeah.
through a lot of shit. It's like, well, now I feel bad for you. Now we're both pity hanging out with each other. That's a tough spot. But anyway, she also asks Jay, and I like her reasoning. And all 4 women, I believe, had a similar second pick where it's like, I want Jay because I want to be kind of the wing woman for Gizelle. I know
Yeah.
Jay's into Gizelle. I want to help that along. I'm like, oh, that's nice of her. So Ashley asks Gerry randomly and Nicholas. And Gerry, unknowingly, is the buffer for
Mhm.
Nicholas so that she can get to know Nick better because she doesn't have any feelings towards Gerry whatsoever. She's like, yeah, that's great. He's just kind of like furniture. He's going to be there, but I want to talk to Nicholas.
He'll ask some questions that I'll just turn and ask Nicholas, which, both you and I had the same feeling about Nicholas last week.
We were correct, by the way.
Correct.
His
very
hallway shenanigans were, I was like, brother, can you leave now? Like, why are you still yelling?
Yeah.
Luann
God
asks Mark and Ralph. So she goes in for Ralph. She's going to take him away from Shannon. But she's like, you can take a little time to think on this one. And then Gizelle asks Phil, who is kind of the dark horse right now, like out of nowhere, which, he's been kind of sitting in the background. He does seem like an intriguing character. I'm not really sure what he dresses well. He looks expensive. I will give him that. He's
an intriguing character in the way of like, you have a couple conversations with him and I think you understand what he's all about. And either he's your cup of tea or he's not. So it's pretty quick to figure that one out.
He's very steadfast in who he is. And I appreciate that about Phil. And I think we're going to get to know Phil a bit better as this whole thing goes on. But Gizelle, dude, and like this is the aspect of the show I wasn't ready for, which I'm so glad is part of this whole thing. Is Gizelle goes to confessional. She's like, every time Shannon has a man, someone takes him. So I'm just going to be true to the brand and keep that going. I'm like, damn, hell yeah. Where did that come from? This is supposed to be a silly, goofy, fun time, and you're throwing shade because and that's why Giselle's such a good pick for things like this, because that's just who she is, and that's what she's good at. That's what she brings to Potomac so well. Now she's bringing it to Love Hotel. I didn't think we were going to get that kind of housewifery, so I'm thrilled.
I didn't think we were going to get that either, and I just love the idea. Like, I mean, two of the other women picked Ralph. What am I going to be left out here? No, come on.
Fuck that. I'm taking
throw
Ralph
my
too.
hat in the ring.
Yeah,
I mean, we did agree last week. I think that Ralph's got a lot going.
Look, he's the number one guy in the group.
Yeah.
Move over, Jax Taylor. Ralph's in town. But Shannon's also pissed now. She's like, I wanted a one-on-one with Ralph. Now she's mad. Ralph picks Gizelle, which is hilarious. So Shannon's upset. Luann's just surprised because she's not used to losing very often. And now Shannon pity picks Earl. Well, you know what? I have a connection with Earl. So Earl, you're coming. It's like, nice.
You also, while you were going through Shannon's retort, if you will, you forgot about the voice crack, because I could have sworn she was crying.
She may have been. Like, that's where the insecurities creep in, where she's like, nobody likes me. Ralph didn't pick me.
Oh, no.
Shit. But Luann, she picks Wale to, again, be somewhat of a wing woman. She's like, I know Wale and Ashley.
Nobody left to pick. Which, were you confused? Because I was confused. I thought there were more guys. It didn't seem like that many guys.
Well, there's 8 dudes, I guess. So that makes sense. Yeah, it's like
10 or 12. I was like, who are we missing?
Yeah, because Luann doesn't pick him. She goes, Wale, you're with me.
Yeah.
Come on over here. Buck up, pal. But she's going to, put in some work for Ashley, which she does. We see that. But we get to the dates, and this was a fucking nightmare for me.
Yeah.
We just keep jumping back and forth. But we start out with Luann nearly licking a mango off of Wale's lip. We were very close, and that is something Luann would do, just to, kind of mix things up a little bit. Wale, recognizing, was like, whoa. Ashley would not like that. And when Luann brings it up to Ashley, she's like, did you do it? And he's like, no, I told him not to. And she's like, damn right you did.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, he's very clearly, he's admittedly only got eyes for Ashley during any of this. So he is steering clear.
Knowing Luann, that could have been a test, though. Like, will he let me? Like, no wonder.
Could have been. Yeah, and also knowing Luann, she could have very easily been into that, even though it could have been a test to start off with. Afterwards, like, oh, that was kind of hot. I'm actually gonna talk to Wale over here.
Yeah, that could happen, and we know Lou likes younger dudes. So look out, Ashley. Look out. She might be gunning for Wale now. But Giselle's talking to her dudes, and she's got who's she with? She's with Ralph and I already forget. Phil. Ralph and Phil.
Yeah.
61 and 63, they both seem like nice guys. They both seem similar as far as like where they are in their life. Like Ralph's very sure of himself.
Yeah.
Phil's very sure of himself. And like the best part about having Gizelle in this, she's like, I like guys that are funny. I have not laughed once. You two, step this shit up. Be witty. Do something. Make me laugh, clown. Like, what the fuck, guys?
I think, was it during this? And yeah, this is very confusing because we did jump around a bunch during this scene. But I think Gizelle during this goes to her confessional and she said something that contradicts what she said about dating her entire life that I've seen her. She's looking for just a nice guy, a normal, down to earth, got his like life. He's very established.
No, she contradicts herself in this moment because she said like Ralph's giving all of that, right?
Yeah.
Where he's saying like, you need lumps to connect with people and like you need to be real, this, that. He's very down to earth with it. And she's like, he's too serious for me, is kind of the vibe. And then in the confessional, she's like, but he's like a cool Mac daddy. And I like that. I'm like,
but she's also like last year on Potomac, she said that she likes a guy who's been to prison. I'm like, what?
She likes
what are we doing here? So I think you like the bad boys. I think she
doesn't know what she likes.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe that's what the Love Hotel's really about.
Because if you like bad boys, you dated Jason. That guy's a nerd.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That guy is a nerd.
That guy's a nerd. Nothing wrong with nerds. I'm just saying. He's definitely like Jason couldn't be further from a bad boy.
He was definitely not a cool Mac daddy.
Not even remotely. No. But let's get to Luann again. And she's talking to Mark and Wale. Mark, he's like, there's a good connection here. And he's like, yeah, you're strong. You got good legs. I like a woman with good legs. It's like, Jesus, Mark. Like pull it
Mark
back.
and Gerry
a
are
little bit.
definitely the same person because it
the
just
same
seemed
guy.
like a spitting image of their date that they had in the clamshell with Gerry. And it's like, wait, you're really into yoga. That's what you do all the time. I bet you probably also have a property on one of these islands down here. Gerry's over here surfing every day. Same guy, same vibe, same guy. Not really, I don't think, who was it? Was it Gerry that said that he was looking for fun and not love, or was it Mark?
That was Mark.
It was Mark. Yeah, so yeah, I can't tell. They're interchangeable.
They're the same dude. They're honestly the same dude. But Lou goes to work for Ashley. She's like, Wally, I know you like my girl. You should write a note. I was like, fuck yeah, write a note. And then go stick it in those guys' face. That'd be funny as shit. Because Nicholas is over there being a weirdo. And while he's writing the note, he's like, oh, you think I should? She's like, yeah, definitely write a note. And he's writing like, I miss you, whatever, on a napkin. And you get a little cut over to Nicholas. Here's the thing. When he says what he says, that was not a slip of the tongue. That wasn't a, oops, I didn't mean it like that. He meant what he said. He goes, have you done two guys like that? Yeah. She's like, whoa. He's like, oh, I didn't mean that. He goes, yeah, you did. You're trying to be sexual because you don't know how to initiate that part of this whole thing. So you're just going to make a weird, creepy statement about having a threesome. And then you're going to panic. By the way, the thing with Ashley, as she makes clear later, is like, she wants someone to take charge. If you had said that to her and leaned into it, like, yeah, you ever had a threesome? She probably would have been like, I like this guy. He's not afraid to go there.
He's very forward. Yeah. He's very open about his feelings. It's like, no, he's actually just being a creepy sex freak. But yeah,
creepy guy. And then he gets scared because she checks him on. He's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. It's like, you pansy. If you're going to do it, at least fucking stand by it.
He's definitely the all talk, no bite. You know what I mean?
He's
like
the guy that in the text messages is like saying all kinds of nasty shit. And then you get there and it's very basic missionary.
And he's like, I've got my hand on your shoulder. Is this okay?
Yeah, do you like that? She's like, you barely
put your
grazed.
hand
Like, well,
lower.
I did touch your butt. She's like, you gave me a church grace, dude. Give me a church grace. Like, what the fuck? He's not
put your hand lower on your arm. No,
he doesn't know how to. Like, Ashley's out of his league. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. And anyway, Shannon, Earl, and Jay is just more about Earl's past and this stepson was a sad story. Promised him a motorcycle. Hopefully, he can give it to him one day. Again, more trauma dumpy.
Yeah, I'm doing a turn on Earl. I liked Earl.
I'm not doing a turn on Earl yet. I like Earl still. The not mid-season, but the end of the show, like what's happening this season, that's got me asking questions. That's got me asking a lot of questions. But back to Ashley. Have you ever dated a black woman? Which Gizelle also asks Ralph and Mark or Gerry. Mary. I'm just going to call him
Mary.
Or Gark.
Mary.
Jark. I like Jark better. Jarky.
Spoiler alert, it's not really going to matter.
It doesn't matter because they're both gone. But Ashley asks, have you ever dated a black woman? Probably the weirdest way to respond to this is you go first. No, just answer the fucking question. It's a yes or a no. Have you dated a black woman before? It's a very simple question. Gerry's like, yes, I dated a woman named Angel. It's like, okay. How about you,
in
Nicholas?
high school?
In high school. Yeah. All right. So 60 years ago, whatever. It doesn't matter. And then Nicholas is like, I've never in my life, not once. Have you ever dated and this pisses me off because he did this on purpose.
White boy. Yep.
He didn't say white boy first. He said, have you ever dated a white guy? And then he wanted to be cool and change up the way he talks, which is my biggest pet peeve on the planet, is when you just change the way you talk based on who you're around, especially in this instance. Like, you ever dated a white boy? I'm like, you've never said that in your life, have you? Not one time. And now that you're talking to a black woman, you decide to pull that out of your pocket? Fuck you, Nicholas. You sound stupid. Like, he reiterates, he doubles, I think he triples down. He says it 3 times.
It was way too many times. He shouldn't have said it in the first place, but he did triple down. And part of me is like, I'm kind of happy we got this episode out of Nicholas because, obviously it confirmed all of our suspicions. Sure. But we had to go through this. Like, you know what I mean? This was like a trial by fire for us. We have to really sit through all of this and really be uncomfortable with the way that we were talking about him last week. And we were right. But boy, I'd actually trade that. I'd rather be so wrong about him and get a very nice episode out of this guy. And he just seems like a really cool dude. I would have loved that so much better. Instead, we had to just sit in this the whole time.
Confirmation of everything that we thought to be true was in fact true. Shocker. Not nearly as confirming as his occupation that we're going to get to shortly.
Well, the guys that like a lot of guys just like to be right about everything.
Yeah.
Do a podcast on Bravo. I would argue when we're right half the time, we're like, oh God,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like
not.
that.
It
We actually
stings.
don't like being right.
You're like,
yeah.
oh fuck, that's true. Damn it, that sucks. That means you're a terrible person. That's usually what it
Yeah.
amounts to. Is like when we're right, it means
Pretty
somebody's
much.
awful. Like, fuck, that was true.
Yeah, and it's
That
usually
sucks.
a dude, and we know what we're talking about. We're like, oh,
Yeah,
damn
and
it.
we're like, damn it.
Another strike for dudes.
Exactly. It's dudes like you that give the blanket statements of men because of that. And once again, the blanket statements were correct because of dudes like you, Nicholas. But we get to Gizelle and Phil. Phil, like I said, interesting character. He's got a home bases in Arizona. He's got a house in Bel Air. So he's, I guess that's not bi-coastal. He just got 2 homes, but he does have a house manager, which to me says I've got a big ass house in Bel Air. But even if you're living in Bel Air, period, you got to have some change on you.
Where's the gated community? Because I couldn't figure it out.
I would imagine
in
that's
Arizona?
in Arizona. Yeah, that sounds like
Keep
Arizona.
Coyotes out.
Keep them coyotes out, baby. Damn right, darn tootin'.
Keep them rattlesnakes out.
Yeah, fences don't keep rattlesnakes out. That. No, they actually, if the fences are flat and not spaced, they coil up next to them because they get hot in the sun. They bake by them. Anytime you're out west, if you're by like a metal sided building or anything during this, you better watch out. That's where the rattlers like to snuggle up.
It's good to know. And that's a good PSA.
There's no scarier feeling in the world, and I know this firsthand on the ranch in West Texas in Sweetwater. When you're walking, you don't see them, and you just hear. I've almost shit my pants a few times because that happens, and you got to freeze.
Incredible rattle noise too.
I've heard it too many. You freeze, and then you scan the area, and you try to figure out where he is, and then you try to get away from it without panicking, because then they strike. And if you do kill one, you got to bury its head because they can still release venom if you touch one of their teeth, and their teeth will still react.
No.
Kill a rattlesnake, bury its head, and then cut it off and leave the head under the ground.
And that's our scary segment for today.
There's your scary segment of the day. But that's
sleep well tonight if you live out there.
Or
you're just on vacation.
Yeah. And don't go any like storm cellars, stuff like that. Just be careful. Anyway, where were we? Gizelle and Phil. Gizelle says LA is the worst. He's like, well, you gotta be the right. The way he responds, I think, bodes well for Gizelle, because she needs somebody that's confident, cool, and just not gonna get rattled. He doesn't. He's like, you gotta be in the right environment. And she bites. She was like, Phil seems refined. He's established. He walks and talks like a man with money. I agree with all of those things. Phil's intriguing.
And I liked the way that he responded, even though I fully disagree, because LA is definitely the worst. But Gizelle was right the whole time. Just like, what do you even do out here? Do you guys have jobs? Most of them? No, they don't. But
that doesn't make that doesn't, like, I didn't agree with that statement, because California, LA specifically, is the most expensive place like ever.
They don't have jobs. They don't have jobs. Okay. Come on. They just sit in traffic all day. Who could have a job in that mess?
That's true. You can't get to your job because you're in traffic all morning and all afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the way that Phil answered. He kind of put a lot of thoughts that I had about him, because I was unsure about him. But I feel like all of his answers kind of put me at ease. I'm like, oh, he could actually be a pretty cool guy. He put those sunglasses on, and I was like, oh boy, I don't know about this guy.
I think I'm in on Phil. I think I like Phil.
All right.
I think I like Phil, but
I want to see more, which is, as much of a compliment as I can give.
Yeah, I think that's a big compliment in a show like this. But Jay checks in on Gizelle, which is nice, I guess. There is running the risk of being overbearing on these shows, which we are crossing that line with a few of them. But as she's doing that, Luann checks on Ashley and the boys, and she's like, "Oh, you got a letter, a little love note, did you?" Nick is like dead set. He's like, "I ain't one-on-one. All right, settle down. Just ask her to go for a stroll or something." And
you think his ego took a hit during that letter scene?
You think? He's like, "Oh, I get it. Like, Wale seems like a nice guy." And then his confession is like, "What the fuck?" It's like,
this motherfucker.
Weird. This motherfucker, man. But in person, you're like, "I get it. You cuck."
Totally. That's how the game works.
You little cuck. That's what you are, Nicholas.
Did you guys kiss last night when he walked you back? Just asking.
Just tell me about it. Just want to hear about it.
Was it good?
Yeah, did you like it? If he would say some shit like that. Like,
absolutely.
But Nick and Ashley go off on a little one-on-one because Ashley asked him, "Do you want to go talk?" And he's like, "Yes, I do." She's like, and she literally says, "Take some initiative, dude. I need you to step up. If you want this to work, you got to step up and show me you want to step up." That's big because of what happens later. Like, all you have to do is take charge, Nick. She's asking you to take charge, do something about it. But we do find out that after apologizing to Luann, Gerry, she's just not attracted to him. And it's gone from, oh, this guy cares a lot to, I just met you, guy. Can you back the fuck off of me?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the law of averages really played out with all the overbearing stuff because you can view Wale's note as a little overbearing, a little much, crossing a line.
That was a good
Ashley
move.
accepted it well. Well, it depends. I think it just depends on who you're trying to impress too. Somebody like Ashley, especially in the midst of that date that she had over there, she's got somebody that she has no interest in, somebody who she has to hold his hand to show interest in her. So that worked out really well for her. And I feel like, what was the positive one? Oh, God. Sorry. Jay checking in on Gizelle. A little checking in on his girl. That's what we want to see. That's what Gizelle says in her confessional, even though last week she said that he's not her type, but we'll see how it plays out.
She kind of reiterates
the other two
as well.
Yeah. Gerry coming over to check on Luann. Very overbearing. Can't do any of that.
Creepy.
Shannon is actually a little overbearing on Ralph, but that's a different situation.
Yeah, that's she just is upset that Ralph didn't pick her is what's going on there.
Yep.
But let's get to Nick and Ashley with this fucked up scene. The most unsurprising occupation that he could have, because originally he was a diamond miner. I was like, whoa, that's random as shit. What do you do now, Nick? Crypto. Of fucking course. This is a crypto, bro. If you had asked me what does he do for a living, I would say probably crypto. Yep. He probably brags about it. He probably has an Instagram account. It's like, do you want to make $100,000 overnight? Invest in Bitcoin. Like, that's probably what he does. So what I didn't expect at all.
I'm gonna fact check that real quick too.
Because
I know that's got to be true. Yeah, Dickcoin. No, I'm looking at his Instagram. Oh God. Oh, that's so funny. Dickcoin. Yeah, that would actually be really funny.
That's probably what he's selling.
I wonder if it's actually really
coin. Dickcoin probably is a meme coin that some idiots are investing in right now.
I'm not going to be able to find this that easily. Oh, well. Bing.com.
Wow.
What the hell?
Ask Jeeves.
Wow. What a time.
What a time to be alive. Bing's still around?
Oh, that's the official, I didn't even realize that would work. When you go on Instagram and then there's like a link
Bing
on
is
Instagram. Bing is the official search engine of Instagram. Huh.
No one says, let me go Bing that real quick.
God, I just wish that Ask Jeeves still worked because let me go Ask Jeeves is wow.
By the way, if anybody, I don't know who owns that. I'm sure Google or Bing or some big search engine bought Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
If it's still available and you want to be a millionaire, bring it back.
Yeah.
Everybody would want to use Ask Jeeves from our generation.
Just spread some misinformation about Google and then bring back Ask Jeeves. Oh, everybody's going to switch. Because, let me Google something. Obviously, that's become a verb. Where are we right now, by the way? I don't know.
We're talking about Ask Jeeves.
But, obviously, Googling something has become a verb. But let me go Ask Jeeves is sick. That is so much better than let me Google it. Yeah.
Bring it back. Wow. Bring back Jeeves.
Plus, oh my God. Plus, you've got a built-in AI voice. You can name him Jeeves.
And just do the Alfred voice from Batman.
Oh, man. You think Michael Caine would sign off on that? Probably not.
What do you want to know? Don't forget about the Lamborghinis. I'll sit down with a nice Fernie Branca.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. I need to rewatch those movies.
Yeah.
Let's get to nighttime because Nick and Ashley was a disaster. She asks him this is the one shot that he tried to take and be that guy. She's like, what do you like physically? A beautiful smile and a fat ass. I'm like, when you say it, it sounds really gross.
Go home.
Some people can say things like that. Nick, you're not one of them. When you say it, it sounds
I would argue that he could say it if he played his hand a little bit better throughout this whole process. And she was actually reacting.
And then drop a big fat ass in there. It doesn't work.
I mean, we've seen Ashley before on dates with people in the Bravo verse, and I hate watching them because I don't like how Ashley interacts on dates, but they usually land a lot better than that. He has not played his cards right at all. And even she was turned off by it. It's like, all right, good. Let's get this guy the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he needs to get the fuck out of here. But we get to nighttime. And Shannon and Earl are moving quick. They smooch in front of the lounge. awkward as fuck kiss. Her
Didn't
eyes
really
were
like
open
that
at the
move.
time, and like it made me uncomfortable.
Don't make me watch that.
Earl was like, that was cool. I was like, this is a weird relationship, guys. You guys
Marking my territory.
Yeah, this is strange. That's exactly what it's doing in front of everybody. I was like, look at me.
That's when I
kissing
took my turn
Shannon.
on Earl. I'm like, all right, too much trauma dumping. Now it's getting weird.
Yeah, Shannon storms the pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But
that works.
Ashley and Nick are talking, and he's like, I'm super touchy-feely. It's like, are you? Because Ashley is that person, and you haven't touched her once. This is where you get him grazing her shoulder and him talking about, well, I touched your ass. Again, weird thing to say. Then she's like, you gave me a church grace, as we talked about earlier. So you barely touched my ass. That's a moment, Nick. If you're going to play this role, if you're going to try to be this guy, and Ashley's giving you all indications that this is the kind of guy she wants, that's where you go, all right, stand up. And then grab her ass or do something like she's literally saying,
I don't know if that would have been a good move, actually. I thought that would be awful.
I don't know. Like even when I said that sounds like that's assault, brother. But like, I don't know. Like she's trying to give him a blueprint of like, this is what I want you to do.
Up. Stand up is crazy.
But like, she's literally trying to lead him down this path of, hey, be more assertive with me. And he's like, he's just missing the mark completely every single time. He does it again in the hallway later, but actually it's right now because they're walking back to her room. She's literally saying to him, this is how I tell you that I'm into you. I'm showing you where I live, showing you where I'm staying. I can't give you any clearer instructions, Nick. You need to make a move if this is going to be anything. Thank God Gizelle pops out of her room. She's like, I heard something out here. So I heard some loud talking. Is everything okay? Then Shannon pops out of her room, and then Luann pops out of your room. So while this is happening, there's a lot of ways to play this, right? You're on a dating show with all of these women. You can make a joke about that. You can also just be like calm and be like, oh, I'm just walking her back. Hey, ladies, good night. Good night. Do you all want a good night kiss? Ha, ha, ha. Come on, Ashley. Let's get out of here.
So many.
You know what you shouldn't do? You shouldn't scream and yell and holler and then say you're getting cock blocked by housewives.
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Yeah. I just, again, you're talking to women who you're trying to impress, especially. How many times have we seen this on? Well, there's 2 episodes in, and we've already seen a couple different instances where one person is trying to talk to another one of the housewives that they don't have interest in, so that they put in a good word with the housewife that they do have interest in, or vice versa. We're seeing the housewives start to team up and try to get information on other people so they can better serve their friends. This is the opposite of that. You're alienating. You're like, get the fuck out of my way, lady.
Fuck off.
I'm trying to make out with this girl. Yeah, like, what are you doing? And you're 46 saying cock block. What are you doing? But he's a crypto bro. So
he is a crypto bro. Crypto bros don't age, bro. Did you see his cool earrings? He's got one up here in the cartilage.
He sure does.
He's not like the other guys. He's different.
No. You see his eclectic tattoos? They're cool.
Yeah, he's eclectic as fuck, bro. If you ask him what any of them mean, he'd be, I don't know. I like this one supposed to be.
It's pretty high one night, and I just doodled this little rubber ducky. And
it'd be some stupid story. I was like in a retreat in Tulum, and we were on a mountain, and like I walked out, and so like I saw this bird, and I was like, that bird's my ancestor, and so I had him tattooed on my scrotum. That's probably what he would say.
You know, Tulum has the best DJs, according to Luann. Ralph should go check it out.
She's surprised that he hasn't been there, being in the music industry.
I know.
But we get to the morning after. And all the ladies have matching fits. They look great. They have a very funny conversation about, finances, because let's face it, they say it perfectly. We're all established. We've all made our money. We're all doing pretty well. Can these guys, and I think this is a valid question with,
definitely,
they're used to a certain lifestyle.
With love on the line. Yeah,
sure. They're like, can these guys afford our lifestyles? Like, we're not gold diggers. And I don't think that that's what they're saying at all. It's like, can they hang with how we live our lives? Have they seen the show? Will these things shock them? Earl takes a stray. It's like, oh, you think Earl's got money? It's like, no. It's like, damn, based on what? Like, we don't have a whole lot of info, but no, apparently he's not having a lot of money. Phil
got enough money to keep a motorcycle in his garage for 15 years and never run it. So who knows?
Does that scream money? I've driven
by
unfortunately
all we know about
Earl with fucking multiple motorcycles parked up front that haven't been ridden in years.
Look, I'm dealing with what I have. And the only information I have about Earl is all of the trauma that he's gone through in the last 20 years. So
Yeah, same. We don't have a whole lot more than that. That's a good point. But Shannon's trying to change the direction that she's going in. I've been with 2 narcissists in a row. I need a guy with a big old heart. All signs up until this point do show that Earl's at least got a big heart. And maybe that's what she needs. We'll find out if there's more there later. I'm also curious if they're editing it a certain way. Is Shannon being overbearing? Is Earl being overbearing? Are they overbearing on each other? I'm very invested in the Earl the Pearl, Shannon Bador romance.
Well, you got to remember what JKB said about Shannon. So who knows?
That he wants her to suffer or something. The other thing he said.
There's a lot of things that he said.
Yeah, but
he did say that she was an absolute terror to all the producers and him. So I don't know. We'll have to see how
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But speaking of JKB, we get JKB with the ladies and the dudes, and we get a little curveball. I didn't know this was part of the show. I had no idea. We got some new guys coming in. I got some new fresh meat walking into this house today. But that means that we got to get rid of some of these guys right now. And I was like, whoa, cool. This is a fun aspect. Let's get rid of like most of them. Pick 2, piss all of them off, and bring in a bunch of other guys. Did you get the same like inkling that I got? Because I got an inkling here when Joel's like saying some of these guys got to go. Jay makes a joke. He said, "We eliminate Joel." Ha ha. Did Joel take that personally?
Probably.
He looked like he took a little. He's like, "Oh, really, Jay? Oh, really, Jay? You want to get rid of me?" I was like, "He can't. You know that, right? Like, you can't get eliminated. You're the host." But I just.
You got jokes now, Jay? Is that what we're doing here?
Oh, you got jokes now, Jay? He goes, because you seem a little bit nervous, Jay. I was like, all right, I think you're just kidding. I just think it's a goof. It's just a goof, man. It's not that deep, bro. Like, I did get the hint that he was like, fuck you, Jay. It's just really loud.
Here's the thing, too. How many times, and it's been 2 episodes, how many times have we seen JKB? Like 3, 4 tops? 4. So that's probably about 4 hours of work. The rest of the time, you're just hanging out at a resort.
Yeah,
just be a little happier.
He just seemed like he didn't care for the Jay joke, and I thought it was kind of. I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, no. And then like I was writing down, and I heard his response. I was like, oh, did he not like that? But anyway, Shannon, of course, picks Earl. No surprise there. Luann keeps. I also love that they all get 1 key. They can only pick 1 person. So Luann keeps Ralph, which is the best because Mark and Gerry are both stupid, and they're both like, it's one or the other, right? Like we both know that we got her heart, pal. She's like, I'm gonna, Mark's been really nice and Jerry's been really nice. I've had a good time, but Ralph's tall. It's like, fuck yeah, Luann. Don't ever change. She's taking the tall, handsome fella. Fuck Gerry and Mark. They can go home. And she just says, look, I'm bored with Gerry, and Mark seems like he came out here to play, and I've dated too many guys like that. I'm not doing that. And Gerry is like shocked. He's like, what? It's like, what connection did you really think you had? That awkward kiss you shared on the beach? Or are you trying to grab her arm? Like, which part are you missing, dude?
And I love, too, because like one of them, and I don't care which one, but one of them did say, really thought it was just going to be a competition between the 2 of us. Like, I really thought it was going to be me or him. It was neither of you.
Based on
it's very funny that even now, I don't remember which of them said it because 1, it doesn't matter, and 2, you guys are the same person. So
they are literally interchangeable. They're both old gray white dudes.
But us watching at home, we're like, after that first date with Gerry, there's nothing here. Luann's done with this guy.
Yeah, we knew that.
As far away as possible. Then she starts talking to Mark. He drops her. He's out. No chance that she brings him back. She's probably going to go for somebody like Ralph. We at home all know this. They do not. I
didn't even have to watch the show. I could have pointed at Ralph and been like, that guy. That guy can probably keep up with her. These 2, no. They're just, and she's like, it's not about their height. And then she's like, she literally goes, it's not about their height. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That is it.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love Luann. But
yeah.
Ashley picks Wale. No shock there. And they smooch for the 3rd time. We got a kiss counter going on. And she lays it out. And this was surprising, because there was a pool date scheduled. She's like, I was going to give Nicholas the benefit of the doubt at this pool date. He didn't show. Nicholas didn't show up to the pool date.
Yeah.
So
embarrassed.
I don't know.
Last night didn't play out how he thought it was going to play out.
Perhaps. I'm not sure what his motives were, but that got him kicked off the show, which is hilarious. But
he probably went to a sound bath instead.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. But Gizelle, she picks Jay because at the end of the day, she's like, I'm loyal. Jay's looked out for me. I got to look out for my boy. It does not mean she's into him. I don't think she's that into him.
I
but
was surprised. I thought she was going to take Phil.
I did too, but she's like, Jay checks the boxes. Jay has been checking in on me, so I'm going to get Jay another week here, another night here. I don't know what the time frame is, but Jay gets to stay a little bit longer.
3 weeks.
Wow, really?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's that long.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. But we get a loophole. There's one key. Collective save. Who are we going to save? 4 guys left. I wrote down it's like the last chance workout on The Biggest Loser when you got like 1 hour left and then they put them through a horrifying workout that those people should not be doing because it's dangerous to their health. I didn't know this when I was a kid watching The Biggest Loser.
Trash bags involved?
Dude, did you watch it ever?
No.
I thought it was the most motivating, like happy shit ever until I got like older, especially into the fitness industry. I'm like, oh my God, what you were doing to those people is horrible.
For
like,
everybody watching at home's entertainment. You're putting these people through hell.
Then you learn about it. You're like, that's so unsafe. No one should lose that amount of weight that quickly in like a fucking starvation boot camp. Like terrible. And then if they eat, they get shamed. They're like, you fucking cheated last night. It's like they're trying to renegotiate their relationship with food, and you have everything weighed out in a pantry. This is terrible.
To be fair, it's a certain somebody's favorite show in a certain movie that is also no longer
Daddy's
good.
favorite show is Daddy's favorite show. Oof.
That whole movie gets thrown out.
Because of 3 people in it. 2 of them much worse than the third. The third's just kind of a whiny little bitch that said some off-color shit, while the other 2 are horrible human beings. Horrible. Yeah, wow. That was a funny fucking movie, too. I can't ever watch that again. There's no way I could get through that movie. I can't even get through the first 10 minutes. Woof. Yep. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, like, come on, you gotta know what we're talking about.
Yeah, come on.
I would hope so. But anyway, they deliberate. Let's figure this out. Nicholas takes one last swing here. It was a blessing to meet you. Shut up, nerd. You're not getting picked. You blew your chance. And Phil kind of keeps in tune with how he's been. He's like, look, ladies, you've all been very inspiring. I think we have a lot in common. That's it. Perfect. Good. That's all you need to say, Perfect. Phil. Don't need to do much more. They deliberate, and Phil gets picked. So goodbye, Nicholas. Goodbye, Gerry, and goodbye, Mark. Gark was short-lived.
Very
short, boys. They're just not like they didn't bring anything to the show. Like the other guys in the show are like intriguing.
It also makes our jobs a lot easier because they are just too close to being the same person. It would be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's where you get the Gerry. It was Gerry who said, "I thought it was a battle between me and Mark." It's like you guys aren't tall enough. So tough shit. And I love Ashley, like just being true to Ashley. She's like, I wish I could say I have this connection with Wale. I really like the guy. My coochie picked him. I'm like, yep, hell yeah.
There you go.
Honesty, I love it. Love to hear
Classic Ashley.
This is when you get the new cast of men, but the caveat, you can pick one of them. There's one key to check in a new man. So you get a whole crop of dudes. One of them gets to stay. I would assume we're going to have another like group hangout where you get to know them. And then at the end of it, we pick one. But you know what I would like much more than that?
What's that?
They don't get to talk and you just got to pick. You 4 get together. You got to pick one of these guys without talking to. But we get to hear each of their backstory beforehand. Like they go through like a quick little confessional. I'm so-and-so. This is what I do. This is what I'm from. This is what I'm about. Boop, 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 boop.
Trauma dump from all of them so that we feel bad when they go home.
Yeah. And then the ladies don't get to hear that. And they just have to pick just you.
Wow.
That'd be fucking funny.
That would actually be really funny. Yeah. I guess the guys that they did pick probably go somewhere else so that they don't get in the middle, or no, actually leave them out there so they get jealous.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, leave them out there so they get jealous. They don't get to. They actually don't get to interact with the women. They have to go sit somewhere else and just watch it happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just make it horrible. And I don't know why I'm in that mindset. I feel bad.
We have to.
It's just kind of funny.
I'm with you.
But let's get to some questions from Jamie Gibbs. How do you feel about Ashley possibly still with discount Jack Harlow? Wale seems better. I think it's hilarious that the 2 people she's with have one of them's name is actually a recording artist and the other one's compared to a recording artist.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about either of these men to make genuine statements. I haven't seen anything negative about Josh, the guy she's dating in Potomac. He catches a lot of shit, but like the only things we've seen him do is support her at her drag thing. So I kind of like
Yeah,
Josh
right?
actually. I don't know why he's catching a stray, Jamie. I don't know what Josh did to you.
Yeah, right.
Wale seems like a
discount
nice
Jack
gentleman.
Harlow is no discount. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's kind of rude by Jamie. Actually, let's just turn the question on Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie, what's your problem with Josh?
What's your issue with Josh?
Why are you being mean to Josh, Jamie? Huh? That's not very nice. What did
Come
Josh ever do to you? Have we beat it into the ground enough yet? Can we move?
Yeah, we definitely have.
Now we'll give you some redemption, Jamie. From Jamie Gibbs, is Shannon taking this the most seriously? Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah.
She's actually
Doesn't
taking this.
Get it. But and it's funny again because I think I said this at the beginning of the episode. When we get to the confessionals, I don't believe Gizelle and Ashley when they're talking about like, you got to be here for love. I certainly don't believe Luann when she's talking about how Gerry or Mark or whoever the fuck it was doesn't seem like he's here for the right reasons. You're not here for the right reasons, but yeah, go to the confessional and say that you are. That's fine. But yeah, Shannon is definitely, she doesn't really understand what's going on. She really thinks that she probably thinks it's the Bachelorette. She's going to get married at the end of this.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's her mindset.
Yeah.
This is too late, but is Luann's
my
hat a
God.
stanzo or is it Brian's stupid fucking hat?
Oh my God.
Well
Fuck
done.
yeah, April.
Incredible.
Hell yeah.
If you don't know that,
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy right now.
It's a stanzo. They're stanzas. They're
stanza.
nice.
You gotta buy them in bulk.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Brian's stupid
April.
fucking hat is probably my favorite skit too.
That
What
I'm
the hell?
I'm so proud right now. That's so good. April, you win questions of 2025.
Yeah,
Nicely
you
done.
definitely do.
Incredible.
Don't
do
do the
one
voice.
more. Don't do the Oh no, we can't start. We'll just sit here quoting for the next like 30 minutes. Let's see. We'll end on this one. This is a good one. From Bippity Boppity Blonde. If we get a season 2, top picks for the 4 Bravo celebs. Oh, wait, I'll combine that with Alejandra Deeks because Bippity Boppity Blonde made the joke of Mo and PK being on this next year. I'll combine this question with why not Carl Shep, Tom Sandoval, and Captain Jason for a he-make version?
It's pretty much what we did.
Wow.
A he-make.
Instead of a remake, a he-make. Good job. I like that.
That's awesome. And we did start to do this last week. I don't know if this was during Love Hotel or during our news eps because
I don't know.
everything
It all
just kind of
blends
runs together in my brain. But we did have, I think what we came down to was Shep, definitely.
Shep is a winner there.
Captain Jason, yes, but my point that Captain Jason is too hot and everybody would just
he would
flock to
steal all
him.
the attention. But
Yeah.
wouldn't that be really fucking funny to see guys like Tom Sandoval and Shep like trying to compete with Captain and just get fucking knocked down every step of the way because they think they're hot shit? Like Captain Jason.
I think I read this right, but yeah, Alejandra Deeks wrote Tom S to differentiate between Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval.
Oh,
I don't know which one you're talking about.
I weirdly got it though. If you're talking about Sandoval,
it's got to be Sandoval.
Oh wait, no, I think she's probably talking about Schwartz.
See,
that makes more sense.
Schwartz would make way more sense because he was hanging out with.
I actually like that.
Shep
that cast works. Carl Shep, Schwartz, and Captain Jason's actually kind of intriguing.
That actually works really well. Yeah,
I
would love that.
I do too. Nice work. Great cast, Alejandra Deeks. Nicely done. Bravo. But
we made that cast last week, I think.
Not verbatim. Don't take her credit. Don't you steal her valor. You already stole valor from the Broad Street run.
I'm pretty sure we did.
You gonna tell people about that, you fucking liar?
I'm wearing the shirt.
So this fucking guy sends me a screenshot of his splits from the 10-mile Broad Street run, to which he did no trading for. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, I'm drinking at Xfinity right now on Stolen Valor because I gave someone else my bib, which is the funniest shit ever. I was like, that makes more sense. That's more in line.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, you got anything else?
Nope. All good here.
That's our show, bros. Gotta go.